Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, David Benavidez is obviously fighting Jose Utsakatsi, and he says he wants the winner of Caleb Plant and Canelo, and he doesn't want those guys to continue to avoid him. Before we get into it, smash the like button, guys. Really appreciate it. Give that like button a smash. Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos and all that good stuff. So basically, David Benavidez, is a guy that he's recently done a lot of talking. He says he wants to stop Jose Utsakatsi. He's going to be the first man to stop Jose Utsakatsi. Obviously, that will be a statement if he manages to do that. But to say that, Caleb Plant and Canelo are avoiding him, I think he's got himself to blame. He was the WBC champion. And if he didn't hit the belt on the scales, Canelo had a goal of becoming undisputed. He would have had no choice but to fight him. Caleb Plant, I don't really think Caleb Plant needed that fight because Benavidez wasn't a champion. And it wasn't a unification fight. And when you've got a fight with Canelo Alvarez looming, why are you going to fight David Benavidez? You're going to make 10 times more fighting Canelo Alvarez. So it doesn't make any sense. And you're getting a chance against the best pound for pound fighter in the world. So that would be crazy for Caleb Plant to go and fight, David Benavidez. It'd be stupid because he'd probably get what, 1.5 million for that or something, where he's gonna get probably 10 million plus to fight Canelo. So it's a business at the end of the day, and Caleb made the right decision. But David Benavidez has himself to blame about, because he, like I said, Canelo would have had to fight him if he wanted to be undisputed, if he had the WBC belt. Callum Smith had a belt. He would have if he fought Callum Smith, beat Callum Smith, then fight Billy Joe, beat Billy. But then he would have had to fight David Benavidez and Caleb Plant to become undisputed. This way, what David Benavidez did by not making weight and getting stripped, the WBC put the belt on the line when Canelo fought Callum Smith, and Canelo became a unified champion because he then took Callum Smith's WBA belt and he got the WBC belt. And then he fought Billy Joe for the WBO belt, and now he's fighting Caleb Plant for the IBF belt. So David Benavidez has himself to blame. Now David Benavidez is in the who needs me club, because even if Canelo now beats Plant and becomes undisputed, I know there's a lot of fans out there that actually want to see the Benavidez fight. But Canelo doesn't have to fight Benavidez. Canelo may say, you know what, I'm going up to 175 and I want to unify that division. He's already said that I'll fight Bivol and I'll fight Beterbiev. Nobody's going to say he's ducking Benavidez if he goes up and fights Bivol and Beterbiev. So, and there's Andre, there's so many guys, Golovkin, there's so many guys that Canelo could fight. There's so many options. So Benavidez, kind of has himself to blame, because Benavidez could have got the fight with Canelo. If he didn't lose the belt, if he didn't, lose the belt on the scales, he would have had the fight with Canelo. So I don't really think Benavidez has got anyone to blame bar himself, because Benavidez could have probably, David Benavidez would have got the Canelo fight. He would have got, and the Plant fight, that would have never happened, because I don't think there was enough money in it, and I think Plant was always eyeing that Canelo fight. Now, if Benavidez was still champion, who knows? Maybe the PBC would have forced that fight, because then it would have made a unified champion. And that fight may have been lucrative enough for Caleb Plant to fight. Maybe they could have put enough money on the table for both of them to take that fight. But I just think at this point, where David Benavidez was calling out Plant for the fight when Plant was the IBF champion and he had lost his belt, it's not another champion calling out another champion. It's a contender calling out a champion, because Benavidez wasn't a champion at that point. If Benavidez was a champion, then you could say, you know what, they're two champions, they should fight. But right now, Caleb Plant was saying that I want to fight Canelo. There's no point of me fighting Benavidez. And from a business point of view, that it makes no sense. You know, everybody in that division was waiting for the Canelo fight. Like Benavidez wants the Canelo fight. But Benavidez right now is in, like I said, in the Who Needs Me club, because there's no guarantee Canelo's going to fight him if he beats Caleb Plant, because Canelo would have cleaned out and done what he wanted to achieve, which is become undisputed. And then he can move up to light heavyweight and fight top fighters at light heavyweight. Do you see what I mean? So, like, Benavidez might not get the shot. He might do. I know there's people out there that want to see Benavidez Canelo. I don't really think I think it's a good fight, but I think there's better fights out there, to be honest. I would personally rather see the Andrade fight. I would rather see the Bivol and Betebi. What I will say is, though, I think Caleb Plant and Benavidez will be a good fight. And I think if Caleb Plant was to lose, then Caleb Plant and Benavidez makes for a big fight. That makes for a great fight. That would make sense for Caleb as well, because that would be a decent payday for him coming off the Canelo, especially depending on how he performs against Canelo. If he performs well against Canelo and does himself proud, then that fight may be a big fight, Plant and Benavidez. And Plant will probably be interested in it because it will make him good money off the back of the Canelo fight. So that would be a fight that I would find very interesting. And I think that's a fight that potentially could happen. Whether Benavidez would be interested if Canelo beats Plant, I don't know. Only time will tell. But I think that would be a step in the right direction, because he'd be fighting a former champion. He'd be fighting somebody that is coming off the Canelo fight, so big promotion. So there's a good opportunity there. So I think that would be a good opportunity. If Plant was to lose, of course, that would be a big fight. Big fight. But let's see. Let's see what happens. What do you guys think? David Benavidez wants the winner of Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. You know, he says they can't avoid me forever. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.